Editing Ellen here. I'm just popping in to tell you a couple things. We do have a couple trigger warnings for this episode. We do talk about some ghosty stories at the beginning if you don't want to hear about that. These next ones are going to sound a little off, but I promise it'll make sense once you hear the rest of the episode. We do talk about cannibalism and serial killers. And birth trauma, including an emergency C-section and a NICU stay, and we also do mention miscarriage. So if you don't want to hear about those things, don't feel bad about skipping out on this episode. We do not blame you at all. And also I want to add that this episode is coming out slightly late. It is currently 1 a.m, and I'm still editing, so sorry about that, but it'll be out for your Monday morning commute. Okay, thanks guys, enjoy.
My volume just did some funky shit.
Oh, I didn't even see it.
I didn't touch it. And it said, shoot.
Let's not talk about that.
I definitely had a dream last night that, like, our house was haunted.
Your house?
Yes.
Like the apartment, or like you had a house?
Like, I think we had a house. I don't know.
You were in your place of
business.
I was gonna say dwelling. You dwell there. I don't know.
Listen, if the apartment was haunted, we're fucked. It's not big enough for the three of us, let alone adding a ghost.
I was literally just talking about how I moved Oliver into the room that he's in now because that room gives me bad vibes.
Bad juju?
Bad juju. It's weird. I don't know. Like one time I went in there in the middle of the night to feed Oliver when he was like baby, when we had like probably just put him in there, and Trigger, follows me everywhere.
And he was
Trigger's
just,
my
like,
dog.
randomly growling?
No, and he would like follow me in there most of the time because I would like leave both doors open.
Yeah.
And then I was sitting in there and I thought that he had came with me, but he didn't. He stayed in here, which is weird for him because he is usually right on my heels. And so I heard like the clickety clack of his nails on the wood part, the laminate.
But there was no clickety clack?
No, listen. And then I thought like, oh, he's probably right there now because it literally sounded like he came into the room and like laid next to me. And then I was like, oh, is that nothing was there.
That's what I'm saying. There wasn't like an actual like.
It sounded like it was.
It sounded like there was, but there wasn't.
But there was. There was, though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you heard it, and you heard it, but there wasn't any, like, trig toenails on wood actually happening.
Yes.
Yes. There was no nail on wood action.
It sure shit sounded like there was. Okay. Anywho.
Fuck.
Any whore. Ooh. Are we testing that, or are we going with it?
I feel like we'll just...
Because I'm keeping that shit in.
Here, let me... Hallelujah.
You have me pinned?
I do.
I have you pinned, too.
I love us.
Don't read it.
Is that it?
Well, I guess you
read
that. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have to redo it, though.
No, I know.
Right?
Yeah, from the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to Hold My Pump. What? Okay. So the long-awaited Chelsey story is finally coming out.
We're not a total clusterfuck today.
Well,
a little bit. You did already cry once.
I cried before you got here too, so that's twice for today. It's fine. We're fine.
Everything's fine.
Let me just explain to you what happened when they got here, okay? Before they got here, the kids both were screaming, and that was fun, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so before they had even gotten here, both of the kids were screaming, and they were just not calming down. They were just not happy, no. And then as soon as they got here, first of all, 2 of my dogs, psychotic. The other one is psychotic, but also an asshole. So we put them on, we have a baby gate in between our kitchen and our living room, and we put them into the kitchen so they could come in the front door. So we put them over there. They came in, dogs were barking, which was expected.
Yes.
We knew that was going to happen. Yeah. Excuse me. So dogs were barking. Jesus, so many burps.
To be fair, Micah is a crackhead, but she's like a sweet crackhead.
Yeah, Freya is a crackhead, just a crackhead.
Because she's a puppy.
Yeah.
And Trig is just
an asshole.
Psychotic.
Yes.
Yes. To be fair, he's anxious.
And he has trauma like the rest of us.
Trauma.
I'm pretty sure he is my abuser.
Am I the trauma?
Am I the drama?
The Trig version.
He is the drama. I can 100% guarantee that he is the drama.
We've seen that a few times.
Yeah. So anyway, so we have the gate shut and dogs are going crazy. Then Bubba starts crying because the dogs were barking.
Yeah.
Which that didn't last very long.
No.
He was just upset for a minute.
I think he was also kind of trying to poop a little bit.
Yeah, he was.
There's a lot happening with that kid right now.
He was working it out.
Yeah.
Working it out.
She's figuring it out.
And then, honestly, I think I blocked out majority of what happened because now I can't remember what happened after that.
Well, so we came in and sat down and all was well with the world.
Yeah.
Everybody calmed down and we were talking. And then Freya decides to crawl under
the gate. Yes.
And run over. And yes. Adam was petting her and he was like, okay, she's kind of acting like a crackhead. So Adam, in all of his glory, goes to put Freya back over the gate and gets bit.
Did he actually get bit or did he get scratched?
It was like mouth, but it was scratch mouth.
Ah, yeah. Okay, yeah. By Trigger. Triggered the asshole. All the other puppies they're nice. Yeah. They're just crazy.
Which is fine. Which Trig, I think I think he's triggered a little bit by Adam. There's a lot happening with that.
His name is Trigger for a reason.
Yeah. So he like puts her over the gate. Trig grabs his arm real quick. It was not, I mean, he's literally fine. He has a scrape and it's like a little swollen, but whatever.
Don't sue me, Adam.
Yeah. So then Adam comes back over and sits down. And then Freya gets under the gate again.
And then Trig starts getting under the gate.
And then Trig starts getting under the gate and then kids start screaming.
And then I pick Theodore up because he's screaming and I try to go put Trigger back. I try to put him in his kennel.
And then Trig lost it on you.
Yeah.
Which is the first that's ever happened.
Such a dick. Well.
Not the first, but it's
been a while. Yeah, it's been a while.
He doesn't do it often. And then Kyle comes into situation and starts kind of
separating.
Yes.
Diffusing the situation, if you will.
And then we were fine.
Well, and then I cried.
And then you cried.
I was just so overstimulated. Like
there was a lot.
I was overstimulated before you even got here.
But then there was a lot, and then, literally everybody was crying. Dogs were barking.
Yeah.
Adam was flipping Trigger off.
I was like, dude, recording? Oh, okay. It wasn't up on the corner.
Did you see him? I was like, Adam.
No.
Did you?
No, we're good.
I was like, can you not? And he goes.
There it goes. I wasn't like, doing that.
Babe, I just had to like stand my ground a little bit. I was like, what? How is that going to help? It's not. Trigger doesn't understand.
He's just an asshole. That's all there is to that.
He's cute though. Because you look at him and you're like, I really just want to love on you. But if you love on him, he's going to kill you.
And he acts like he wants you to love on him. And then he's like, just kidding. No,
he's
I don't.
Scared of love.
He is scared of love. For sure.
But he's cute. So it
our
makes up
white screen went away. I don't know if it's going to do anything, but... Ah, damn it.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, well. That's that then.
24 hours of pure white screen. Really? Really?
I don't know why someone would want that. 24 hours.
We could probably come up with a couple of reasons.
Probably.
Like serial killers may want it. For what reason? I don't know.
Did you watch the Jeffrey Dahmer thing on Netflix?
No, I started watching it and I couldn't finish it because it gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Really?
I could not watch it. For some reason.
I am surprised.
It was one of those ones where like, I don't know what it was. I just started watching it and I was like, I can't do this.
Were you pregnant? You must have been, because I was when I watched it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. Because I literally, like, usually you can handle more than I can, and I could watch it.
For some reason, I was like, I can't.
I also know everything about his story, so I knew what I was expecting, like what to expect.
For some reason, it just really, like, I was like, ugh.
It might have been because you were pregnant, and you were sick.
And I was home alone, too. That probably didn't help.
I was not.
But even when Adam was home, I don't think I could watch it. I made him turn it off.
It's really good, actually. It was really, really good. Very well done.
I might have to try it now.
Evan Peters is...
Because I literally watch, like, crime documentaries all the time. I watch fucking...
What freaked you out about it?
I don't know. It's just the whole situation.
'Cause, like,
gave me the creeps.
the part that I thought was gonna bug me was that he literally ate people.
Yeah.
But, like, they don't say that. I
No.
mean, they say it, but, like, they don't show him, like, literally cutting off
them
a
up
piece of
and
meat
eating
and then,
them.
like,
Yeah.
they don't show that. They just show it looks like a steak, and he's, like, cooks a steak and then eats it, and that's, like,
Yeah,
it's
see,
just,
that
like,
one, even now, thinking about it, it doesn't bother me.
it's
But
just,
for
like,
some
the
reason,
assumption that that's
Yeah.
what he's eating, but you don't, like, see it play out.
I don't even remember, because I was only, like, part of the first episode in, and I was like, I can't watch this.
What? I'm so shocked.
You and me both.
That's weird. Okay.
Because there's very few things in this world like that truly bother me.
That's
and
what
that
I was gonna
really
say.
just, like...
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't
You might
know.
have to try it again because it's really
I
good.
think I'm gonna have to try it again.
And they're coming out with another one
Are they?
on John Wayne Gacy. Yeah. That one I don't know if I'm gonna be able to watch. Because they did, like, a snippet of
Mhm.
his story at the very end because they got executed on the same day, I'm pretty sure. And so they did, like, a snippet of his story, and, like, Jeffrey Dahmer was very, like, he was a sociopath, so he
Yeah.
was very, like, manipulative and made people like him.
Yep.
John Wayne Gacy doesn't give a fuck if you like him, and he's gonna murder you either way.
Yeah.
Like, he was a dick to all his
Yeah.
victims, and they were young, like, super young. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess Jeffrey Dahmer's were too, but, like, John Wayne Gacy was older than Jeffrey Dahmer.
So they were, like, that much younger than
Yes.
him. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to watch that one because the scene that they even played in the Jeffrey Dahmer series, I was like, ooh, I don't know if I don't know, because he was, like, just very, like, he stripped this guy naked and, like, was just very degrading and,
Yeah.
like, before he killed them. So it's just, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to watch that one. But
He was more like, he got off more on, like, the mental...
Yeah, Jeffrey
torture in a
Dahmer
way,
wanted to, or he ended up killing people because he never really, I don't think he wanted, like, when
He didn't intend to start
killing people.
people.
Yeah, but he did because he wanted them to stay with him.
Yes.
That was why he did what he did.
It was more of, like, an attachment
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, because he tried,
way.
he fucking
Ficken?
gave that one kid, the 14-year-old boy, a
Uh-huh.
lobotomy and, like, that's how he, like, kept him.
Yep.
Yeah, crazy. But
Okay.
anyway, sorry. I
do apologize.
Trigger warning. Okay.
So, Chelsea's story, from what I know, which we tried to record this
We did.
once.
We did. And it
did not
work.
We were alone with 3 children, and it was...
And yours was being good.
Yeah, for a little bit.
Yeah, and then mine were not.
Yeah.
So we were
It
like,
didn't
just
end
kidding.
well. So, currently,
That's what we're doing.
I know, like, the start of the story, so
Mhm.
this probably will not surprise me because,
But the rest of it,
so from what I know of it, there's gonna be a couple trigger warnings.
Yeah. birth trauma for sure.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty much the biggest one. Before I talk about stuff, I don't want to give anything away, so I will give trigger warnings as we go because I don't want to give away stuff that happens,
All right.
Here we go. There is, like, a couple typos in here too, so if I, like, mess up my words, sorry.
Also, we're gonna say thank you to Chelsey again.
Yes, thank
for
you
allowing us to
Yeah.
talk about your story and your birth trauma, and
She thinks it's important for people to know all of the things that could
go wrong.
happen.
Yes. And that's not talked about enough. I
No.
think.
Mm-mm.
But
Especially
thank you.
you'll see.
Yeah. So thank you again, Chelsey, for that. We do really appreciate it, and I'm gonna say it now. I'll probably say it again.
Mhm.
I'm sorry you had to go through everything you went
Oh,
through.
you'll say it again.
But we're gonna talk a little bit about it, and then we'll go into that later.
Okay. So she wanted to touch on the our first episode where we talked about pregnancy.
And how we found out.
Yeah. So that's what she starts with. So she says, well, first, I guess to touch on the podcast topics that I remember, I never kept track of my periods ever because they were so irregular, even through high school and college. It was more of a pain than it was convenient, so that went out the window. The last period I remember before my pregnancy was before Thanksgiving of 2021, and I found out March 10th after 3 weeks of absolutely violent sickness that I was pregnant, and it all started to make sense. The morning sickness was absolutely brutal, and it would last 6+ hours with extreme nausea and weakness.
I'm so sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Been there. I'm so sorry.
As I read this too, you can like, commentary. You can like give me commentary if you want to, because I feel like I don't want it to just be me talking. Because
why not?
Because I don't like to listen to my own voice, and I edit these.
All right.
And this is going out tonight, so I have to do it like quick.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so she says, when I found out I was pregnant, I was in the ER all by myself while my boyfriend was at work, and I was so shook I couldn't tell him and just went off the grid till I got back to the farm, and I didn't know how else to tell him besides slide him the ultrasound on the table and kind of giggle.
That's a fucking vibe.
He said because how could the violent sickness just go over our heads like that? She says.
Well, if you're not thinking about the fact that you could be pregnant.
Well, and so the next part that she talks about is that she kept blaming it on her mental status, is what she says.
Oh.
So
yeah,
she was
fair.
like, maybe it's just because I'm so stressed out and whatever.
Oh, yeah, I feel that too.
Yeah. So she says, to be fair, I kept blaming it on my mental status because my dad was going into an adult foster care home. Her dad is paraplegic. He's in a wheelchair. Adult foster care home, and blaming me for his hallucinations and stuff. So I just overlooked the sickness as severe anxiety or depression. So I just went to urgent care for help. But after explaining my symptoms, they sent me to the ER and tested me for literally everything. Which, good.
Why did they not take a piss test on you at the urgent care?
They probably didn't even take her. They probably heard her symptoms on the, like the registration sheet, and they were like, you should go to the ER. I would assume that's what.
I would hope.
That's what happened.
Because if she went in there and they were like, just go to the ER instead of doing a piss test.
They might have not wanted to deal with her, honestly. Just because, like, urgent cares are like that.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Oh, and then they finally asked if I want to take a pregnancy test. She says, funny thing is, I took one. So this is March, right? So she started becoming violently ill in December. So this is March, and she says, funny thing is, I took a pregnancy test in January and February, and then this being March 10th, they tell me I'm 3 months along.
Her HCG had to be so fucking low.
Oh my god. It's so crazy.
That is insane.
Yeah. Could you imagine, like, that's a whole you're through your first trimester.
Yeah.
Already.
Oh, girl.
That was probably the worst part for you.
Girl. And I wasn't even violently ill like she was.
Yeah, violently, she says.
Unless I'm just downplaying it. But I don't think I was that sick.
I mean,
because I really only threw up like a couple days, but when I did throw up, it was...
You had like spurts.
Violently.
Like when it was bad, it was bad.
Yes.
And when it wasn't, you were okay.
Yeah. Like I was super nauseous my entire first trimester. Like I couldn't smell anything. I could barely eat. Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But the vomiting wasn't as bad.
Oh, so she says, my OBGYN experience, she says, I won't say the name, but it's in Jackson, Michigan, was absolutely fucking horrible. She said, not only was I 1/3 of the way through already, basically, but fast forward, this guy decides to close his office, not shitting you, 9 days before my son is born.
I would literally have a full-on fucking panic attack.
And then she says, well, he told me why, but he gave me a 20-day notice to find a new OB, and I was 33 to 34 weeks along when the office closed.
So what the fuck is that gonna do? Like, explain this shit to me.
That is so far. Could you imagine?
I'm telling you, I would have a fucking panic attack.
Do you get new patients at where you work? Do you get new patients that far along?
Yep.
Jesus.
So you can get like new patient transfers. So a lot of times they'll just go over like the ultrasounds and stuff that they've already had or whatnot, and then they come in and they do their like normal labs and stuff.
Is it because they transferred because they didn't like their other provider?
We've had
or
some that have transferred, like they've PCS or they've
that makes sense.
They've come from like Lejeune to where I'm at
that
or whatever,
sense.
but like that is a whole different reason for needing to be transferred. And that is terrifying. But even for us, it's like super hard because we're already pretty much like maxed out on patients. Like we have a lot of patients.
And a 20-day notice.
That would be hard because it's hard to get patients in that quick.
I was gonna say it's hard to get in.
Like
to stuff.
A lot of places will do it if it's an emergency like that. They'll do their best to do it, but it's very hard. Like, and I could see some places being like, no, sorry.
No, I can't. Yeah. Like, so she says, luckily I was able to get into a second OB in Lapeer in Michigan, who I only saw once, but she sent me to McLaren, which is like the big hospital up in Michigan. Sent me to McLaren, who held me for 8 hours doing the same non-stress testing and ultrasounds the entire time. I found out literally the week the office was closing that my baby had IUGR.
Oh.
Fetal stunt growth restriction is what that is. And she says, and it was bad. Like, he was tiny.
Wait, they didn't find out until she was that far along?
That's what she says.
Girl.
Like, she 33 to 34 weeks, and she found out the week the office was closing that the baby had IUGR. Yeah, that's what she says. But every appointment they told me he was growing, and that he was fine. But she said she knew it wasn't. She said the numbers were all over the place every ultrasound. I hated the fact they saw me for all of 2 to 4 minutes every appointment and couldn't even express my concerns and felt so alone.
I am so sorry because that's a really shitty fucking OB's office. I'm
Yeah,
really sorry. Like, you should have been monitored a lot closer than
as
you
fucked
were.
up as it is, it's probably a good thing that you didn't get to, like, give birth with this doctor, because it sounds like he doesn't give a fuck.
It sounds like the entire office is a trash heap.
Yeah. 2 to 4. This was my first pregnancy, and they overlooked my complications because they were worried about their office and jobs more than their patients.
Yeah, that's what it
Yep.
sounds like.
Yep.
Because she definitely, more than likely, would have been getting BPPs and STs quite frequently. She should have been going pretty much weekly. Would be my guess.
I just, especially when because she says the ultrasound numbers are all out of whack. Like, why wouldn't you be like, maybe we should look into that?
I don't know, because like our ultrasound techs are they're really good. So they will know, like, as soon as they do an ultrasound, they pretty much know, and then they'll go and talk to the doctor,
I would assume
providers.
I would assume if you do it all the time that you, like, know what you're looking at.
Well, and there's some places that they just don't give a shit.
I guess.
They just scan and move on.
Well, and
they
that's
don't
what she
really
says.
care.
She says that they didn't care.
No, ours are really good. I mean, they won't tell patients anything, but 9 times out of 10 they know what's going on, so they can, like, pick up on a lot of stuff. I mean, they go to school for this. Like,
right.
I mean, in the state, so the issue is in the state of North Carolina, to practice, so, like, actually, like, do ultrasounds, you don't need to be licensed. But
oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, so, like, you can open your own, like, 3D40, and you don't have to be licensed.
Oh shit, I didn't even know that.
So that's why, like, the place we went to get our 3D40s, we made sure, like,
that they were
licensed, because if they see anything that's wrong on a scan, they can immediately call your provider, and they can tell them, hey, you need to get them in for an appointment.
I see. But if you go to one that's not, they can't, like, tell.
Oh, and they'll tell people that their baby's fine, and something could be wrong, and their baby could be,
Right, especially because, like, those people go to school for that. They know what they're talking about. They know what to look for.
And like I said, I mean, our ultrasound techs are really, 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 really good, and they're really close with our providers.
Yeah.
So they'll actually go up to the provider and be like, hey, this is what I see. This is what I think's going on.
Well, and that's what I would hope for.
Yeah. I don't know how. They just don't care. I mean, that's the thing. They just didn't care, which is sad, because that's terrifying.
That's, like, so scary.
But to even look back into, like, for her to know that she realized something was wrong and they didn't care enough to say it or to do anything about it.
Yeah. And she said that the appointments were so quick that they wouldn't even let her get out, like, what she wanted to ask or say. Jesus. Which is fucked up to me. So it might have been a blessing in disguise getting put into a different office. After they tested me and took the numbers, they never looked them over with me or discussed them with me. Because came around to the end of the month, and my new OB looked at the number and immediately transferred me in an ambulance to Hurley, which is, like, the big, like, peds hospital in Michigan. Hurley.
Jesus.
She says, her words, I don't want you to be separated from baby and dad if you need to deliver. She says, I was 35 weeks barely. And Hurley admitted her. So the OB that was at the place in Lapeer transferred her and was like, I want you all to be together
because you're more than likely. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. Thursday night to Friday morning, there was many scares. Like, I remember over 24, she says. They were worried about baby passing inside me, but he also sat extremely low. They knew something was up at about 3:30. I had nurses and doctors literally tossing me around in the bed by the blankets, trying to get the baby's heartbeat back. And they sent me in an ultrasound. They sent me in an ultrasound tech and NICU doctor into my room at like 6 to 10 a.m.
And she's what, 35 weeks?
That's so scary.
And it's so hard to imagine because I remember vividly
having Bubba drop off the monitor.
Yeah.
Because I remember Oliver dropping off the monitor.
And not even that, but like I remember being 35, 36 weeks and saying, I just want him to make it to 37. 37 is what you want to make it to.
Yep.
Things are more developed, lungs are more developed.
Yep.
And the lungs are the big one. So if you're not to 37, they have to give you your shots to make sure to try to speed up the development.
Yep.
And then other things. It's just, and that is terrifying. Not knowing this entire time. All of a sudden, it's everything.
Well, this is all within 2 weeks
at once.
This is all within 2 weeks,
and that's what I'm saying. Like she's getting shit hurled at her in a span of 2 weeks, and all of a sudden now you're in a major pediatric hospital with doctors, nurses, everybody throwing you around, and you not knowing what the hell's going to happen to your baby, all because one doctor
is a jackass
and didn't care. But let's be honest. I mean. If you look back to Oliver, would you have cared more about him or yourself?
Oh, him for sure.
I mean, now it's.
I'm just saying, like,
you have a baby.
I'm sure that like Kyle would have been worried about me.
110%. I wouldn't have given. 10 out of 10 do not give a shit about myself, but like in that moment, I'm sure, and that has to be harder for dads too. Because, yeah. And I mean, it's hard for us. Don't get me wrong, but thinking of it from a dad's perspective, you could lose the woman you love and your baby
at the
all
same
in
time.
One foul swoop.
Yeah.
Again, because one doctor didn't care.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Fuck.
I think her boyfriend's name is Logan.
Well, we're gonna call him Logan. Until we know his name.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Logan.
Oh my god, now it's gonna bug me that I don't know that. Hello? I don't know where it is. I'm sure she says it. I'm pretty sure it's Logan. If I'm wrong, I'm gonna be upset. Okay.
Sorry, Chelsey. If it's not Logan, we're gonna call him Logan until we figure out it. Sorry. Okay.
During the ultrasound, they said I had 3 options, none in which I had a choice in.
It sounds about right. Whenever you're at 35 weeks and something's wrong with your baby.
Yeah. Yep. She said I was either going to have that baby that morning, afternoon, or Saturday, and during the ultrasound, they all started screaming, "Prep the OR." So could you imagine? All these doctors are tossing you the fuck around, and then the ultrasound comes in. Yeah, and then everyone screams, "Prep the OR." Oh my god! It's been a while.
I literally want to cry.
It's been a while since I've read this story, so I'm like, oh my god!
I literally want to cry. I cannot. Chelsey, I'm so fucking sorry. I'm gonna say this 1,000 times in the span of the story. It's not even so fucking.
It's sorry. Not. We're not even done. We're not even done yet.
But like,
her story is crazy.
The idea of like.
Oh my god. Okay, so then all started screaming, "Prep the OR," and told me I had no time to wait. They were getting this baby out of me. So they told her that she had blood clots all over the inside of her belly, internal bleeding, and her placenta had partially erupted. And baby was not doing well inside me for weeks.
She's lucky. I'm gonna say this and it's gonna sound, but like she's very lucky she didn't die. Very, 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 like that is like,
oh my god, it's so crazy.
Like before that, not even anything else, but like just the idea that her placenta had already erupted,
yeah,
and she wasn't dead yet.
Oh my gosh.
Because like you can bleed out, like you will like.
Well, and she wasn't even like put on bed rest or anything because like the doctor didn't fucking care. So like,
oh my god.
That is fucking wild.
All right, well, I guess let's keep going. So,
okay.
Shit, your birth trauma is giving me trauma.
Right? I told you. Bro. Okay, so baby was not doing well for weeks. And then I was walking to the OR, and then all of a sudden, about 40 minutes later, I had a baby. And had an emergency C-section. So, like, literally, you find out that you have your baby has IUGR. Like, right before you go to a completely new OB.
Knowing that it's something that they could clearly see on the ultrasound the entire pregnancy, and they did not give
And that she said that she knew something was wrong, and nobody cared. Nobody would listen to her. God, fucking stupid. Okay.
Did you say she walked into the OR or the ER and 40 minutes later she had a baby? Is that what you said?
And then I was walking to the OR, and then all of a sudden, 40 minutes later, I had a baby.
I was like, Bruh.
I'm assuming it probably was like all happening
It
so
was probably
fast.
quick because
Yeah.
they definitely got all of the report from the OB that she was seeing.
I'm glad that she went to Hurley because Hurley is hands down where if we were living at home and something happened to Oliver or Theodore, no, that's where. Well, I probably would have delivered in Bad Axe, which is closer to where we lived. But if
that's
something,
where you would want them to go.
Yes, if something were to happen to them,
it's kind of like New Hanover, Michigan.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. She says, I was high, scared as hell, literally trying not to pass out, and one of the anesthesiologists was from North Branch, which is where we graduated high school. Which actually lightened my mood, and I'm not sure why, but I had to be awake for this, and it was my first surgery. I'd never broken a bone, sprained, twisted, been put under for anything. This was my first big operation, and I was doing it no choice, and I was having my baby.
Was Dad there?
I don't know. I would assume because that's why they sent her to Hurley in the first place. Is that so they would all be together? Oh, she says, my measurements were wild. My belly was like 29 to 31 weeks, measuring when I was 34 weeks. And then at Hurley, they said my belly was the same 29 to 31, and I was 35 weeks along.
So baby really hadn't.
Baby was not growing.
No.
And my placenta was so white, it was 42 plus weeks, so nothing made sense whatsoever about my pregnancy or labor or complications.
Well, so the placenta thing kind of makes sense because if she's losing blood, then everything's draining out.
She's just saying that like nothing was
the measurements and everything. Fuck.
Yeah, that nothing was lining up. Nothing was right about any of it. Because if she was measuring 29, 31 weeks, she was 35 weeks, and her placenta looked like it was 42 plus. So it was just,
she had lost a shit.
It was just all over. Yeah.
How the fuck was she alive?
Dude. Oh my God. Okay. John is her baby's name. John. Oh. So after I had John and was all sewed up, I went into post-eclampsia. This story just keeps getting worse.
Oh my God.
Okay, so she goes into post-eclampsia and was put on bed rest for 48 whole hours and was only allowed to see John for all about 10 minutes when they took me down in the stretcher to see him in the NICU incubator right after I had him.
Say that the fuck again, because what?
Put on bed rest for 48 whole hours. So
when I tell you how high my blood pressure would have been being away from my baby.
Well, so she was put on bed rest and her baby's in the NICU.
That's what I'm saying.
So she couldn't go see him.
Like, it would have just made it worse.
Oh my God.
They would have had to fucking sedate me.
I couldn't hold Oliver after I had him, and he was like in the same room as me, and that killed me. So I can't even imagine
being
not
in two different.
Oh my God, no.
Fuck.
No.
Fuck. Okay.
I had cuffs on every arm and leg. It was awful. And I had to wear an oxygen mask the entire night before my C-section because it was the best way for them to find John's heartbeats. She says, besides the monitors literally sitting on my cooch. Oh my God, this is crazy. Okay. So after I had John, he weighed 3 pounds 14 ounces before losing his 10% to 3 pounds 7 ounces.
Hims was just a little
Hims to fit it in my hand. Oh, makes me sad. Okay. He ended up spending 32 days in the NICU, and they falsely let me think I could take him home 14 days in until they called as I was pulling into the hospital saying he stopped breathing in his sleep and now his visit was longer. In the 32 days he was there, he was on oxygen for 5 to 6 days, had IVs every day and monitors.
That's my baby.
That is, I don't know if you can hear that because we have mics on, but her baby's screaming. He had bradycardia. He had, she says yellow Reuben, but I'm pretty sure she means like his bilirubin was high. Yeah. I'm assuming autocorrect was like, that's not a word. Yeah. And he was slow to gain weight. With being so small, he was restricted on his food intake, and all that we drove down there almost every day. We drove down there almost every day except 2 of them, and finally was able to bring him home. He was all of about 5 pounds.
Oh my God.
Like, our babies were...
Bubba was 7'2".
2 pounds heavier than him, which doesn't sound like a lot, but like it's a lot. That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Oh my God, he's so mad. while we're doing this, I'm just gonna make sure we're still recording because my luck would be that it stopped. All right, we're good.
I'm trying to think of...
He's mad, baby.
Oh, he's probably hungry.
I just burped too.
Yeah, he's probably hungry.
I'm gonna stop this. Okay, we're
All right.
back.
With the dog.
And we have a guest.
This is Freya.
This is Freya.
This is the puppy psycho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's crazy. She just jumped the gate to come see
yeah,
us.
You did. You had to get a little help though, hus.
Yeah.
This is still a baby.
She got stuck.
She said, I'm just a baby.
It's just a baby. Okay.
All right.
So, all about, he was 5 pounds when they took him home. She said, the NICU was no doubt the best thing to happen for me and Logan. That was his name. I was right.
Love that for us.
As first-time parents and scared first-timers, and I had a rough recovery because I was immediately pushing myself to get back to farming 5 days after my C-section. Chelsey.
Girl, I can't say shit though, because...
well, I did shit too, but we didn't get major surgery.
Yeah. Girl, you needed to rest, mama.
Rest,
honey. Relaxation.
You're not gonna get that shit for 18 years, girl.
The least you can do is take like a few weeks to yourself,
you gotta lay down, baby.
But I get it, like, you know.
No, I get it because, like, especially when something traumatic like that happens, you just want to be distracted from what's actually going on.
Well, and she's got a newborn and baby's in the NICU,
and she's
like...
I was just gonna say, she doesn't even have her baby at home, so like I get it. I don't recommend doing things 5 days after your C-section, but I get it.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, like, everybody's like, you need a rest, and you see all these freaking...
Sleep when baby sleeps.
That's such bullshit.
Okay, when is the laundry gonna get done? When am I gonna do the dishes? When am I gonna
poop?
You literally. Do you know how many times I've taken the bouncer in the bathroom?
Yeah. But on top of that, it's like you see all of these people who, like, they have a husband who stays at home all the time and they can help, and, you know, they get 3 months of paid maternity leave or paid paternity leave, I guess.
Which
most people don't get that.
Freya, you make a better door than a window.
Lay down. You lay down? She said, I know, comprehend. Lay down.
Good girl.
I'll love on you.
Good girl.
I'll love on you.
Okay. They taught us literally everything we needed to know that we wouldn't have known if he didn't spend the time that he did in the NICU. And she said, I got really close with some of the nurses who were attached to seeing John's growth as much as we were.
I love that. Yeah. I love when you make that connection with nurses, and I feel like it's even more so when you have really good nurses in the NICU, because you do spend so much time with them.
Yeah. And like the trust that you have for them, like, caring for your baby, and like, and to trust somebody that's just like not your favorite person would suck. Like,
but even that, like, knowing, and that it comes with that trust, like, which is, I guess, where it comes from, but like knowing that, like, when you leave your baby safe, and if anything goes wrong, like, and I feel like a lot of that comes from honesty too, like, you know, them being honest with her, like, this is what's going on, but, like, we've got baby, like, everything's fine, you know.
Yeah. Oh, this came, I think she this one sent like a weird time, but she's talking about when she was pregnant. She says that she was sick and nauseous for more than half of the day for 30 and 35 weeks. So like at least part of the day she was going to be nauseous or sick. Yeah. She was extremely underweight. Finding out she was pregnant, she weighed 97 pounds and she was 3 months along. That's crazy. Oh, she said, I barely grew, but he sat the entire time. He sat so low the entire time that it looked like I was carrying a basketball at belt level, and this kid was beating the living shit out of me. She said,
"Oh, that
honey.
I do feel. My kid was not nice."
Now she says they recommend very highly that she gets a consult with a high-risk specialist before trying to get pregnant again. In 2 years. They said to wait 2 years to get pregnant. She says, I wanted back-to-back, but back-to-back, not have to wait, and maybe be told it's too risky to do another pregnancy. Bubba's is mad.
Yeah, he's very upset. Just so everybody knows, like, the guys are downstairs with the kids.
We just left them.
Yeah. We didn't leave our children downstairs unattended. Like,
No.
my child's just angry because he's hungry, so
It'd be like that.
It'd be like that.
They're cared for. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I guess the last major thing I'll say is now John has 2 years to basically catch up to quote unquote normal babies in every way. Also, I didn't get a chance to have the labor I wanted at all, but do not regret it for the fact that I have my son who's alive and well and already catching up, and
she's alive to see it.
Mm-hmm. And he's
big.
4 months old now. John is 4 months old now. So,
oh my God, she had him the same time I had Bubba.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a little bit before.
Before, yeah.
Yeah, and that's even scarier because, like, NICU babies are already 9 times out of 10, they're already, like, kind of getting off a little bit behind
Mm-hmm.
full-term babies, but, like, preemies are already kind of, like, a little bit behind, but, like, her baby had IUGR too, so, like, that's even more so, like, he just has so much catching up to do, but
Yeah.
I feel like those milestones are going to be that much sweeter.
Oh yeah, because you had to go through so much to get there.
Yeah.
She says he started in the first percentile for everything.
Oh,
I'm so widow. Aw. It made me feel like a failure as a mother to not only fail to birth my child the way I wanted to, but be separated for what felt like forever. And I had to work around wires and monitors and a whole incubator with little cubby holes for my hands just to hold my 3-pound baby. I can't even imagine. Like I said, I couldn't hold Oliver for like 12 hours after I had him, and that was torture. I can't.
But, like, postpartum depression and anxiety is already bad.
Oh,
and I had a great delivery. I got to hold my baby. Like, looking back, I was so lucky.
Yeah.
And it's still so real.
And it's, like we talked about, even when you have a great delivery and a great postpartum, like, it's still traumatic.
Yeah.
It's still, like, you birthed the human.
Thinking about, like, I hate to say it this way, but literally everything that could have gone wrong
went wrong.
For her went wrong. And that is
And she didn't even
horrible.
know until she was almost delivering the baby.
Chelsey, it's definitely not your fault. And I told her that too. I was like, I've with that already, but, like, that was hands down. Your providers should have given you more than what they did.
Oh, 100%.
They didn't. I'm very glad you got the providers you deserve.
For reference, we just took a break for a second, and Adam, Cheyenne's boyfriend, was like, "Oh, I would sue them."
Yeah.
So, like, it was just it shouldn't have happened the way that it did.
No, it shouldn't have. And I'm sorry that you had to go through that, because that really weighs. Like, people don't think about how your providers and everybody weighs on your postpartum experience, even through the pregnancy.
Incubator with the cubby holes for hands just to hold my little 3-pound baby. That's where I ended last.
Yes.
She says, it was devastating to me to say goodbye every day, praying my guts out for everything to be better. I hated myself because as soon as he got home, my supply dropped and we were immediately on formula.
Oh.
Okay, so that happened to me too with Oliver, so don't feel bad. And you know what? Formula feeding, not a bad thing.
No. And I will tell you, like, so
better for your mental health.
Yeah. Well, and my breastfeeding experience hasn't been the greatest. So not to get off track, but to kind of get off track, but to come back.
No, I mean, like, it's
so
you're in the area.
Yeah. So postpartum was really hard for me. I've never actually had to stay in a hospital.
Me either. Not until Oliver.
I've never liked being away from the comfort of my own home for that long of a period of time, especially places that I've never been before. Minus, like, family's houses. So, like, we went to Adam's mom's house for Thanksgiving. That didn't bother me.
What are you doing?
But being in the hospital for 48 hours was really hard for me. And for, fuck's sake, let's just put this in here. My OB cleared me to go home already. And the only reason why I stayed in postpartum was because Peds was basically like, well, your baby is a little jaundice.
Oh, yeah.
We need to keep him to make sure.
So you stayed.
He was the only reason I stayed, and they knew that was the only reason I would stay, because I told them, I said, if anything is wrong with him, I'll stay, but if he's cleared tonight, I'm leaving. And then they came back and they were like, well, we kind of want to keep him to test him. Yeah. And my OB had already, she pretty much was, like, fighting with them, and arguing, I guess, a little, dispute, if you will, about whether or not to send me home, because she was like, she is cleared. Like, She's taken 3 showers, 2 or 3 showers already.
You peed.
She's walking. She's peed.
Yeah.
She feels great. She looks great. I mean, my uterus was already kind of like doing what it needed to do, like well on its way to going back. And my frontal massages literally didn't hurt at all. So she was pretty much like, she can go home.
Those never bothered me either.
No. And so for me, staying in the hospital that long was really hard because I was not comfortable. I did not want to be there. I wanted to go home, sleep in my own bed, take care of my baby, and be happy. My son has a tongue tie. So in the hospital, they make you latch, they make you do all this stuff. He was doing fucking phenomenal. Like, the kid has a great latch. The last day that I was there, so probably the last 12 hours, I had people coming in, no shit, like pretty much every hour to be like, we need to see him latch, we need to see him latch, we need to make sure he's latching, you have to put him on the boob, you need to put him on, we have to see his latch, which there was one nurse in postpartum who's a lactation consultant, and it didn't really bother me because when she came in, she would like have me latch. She's like, hey, you know, whenever he's ready to feed, just let me know. So it wasn't like she was coming in and she was like, hey, go ahead and make him latch. She was like, let me know when you're going to feed him next if you want me to come in so we can just double check his latch, make sure everything's okay.
See, that makes it so much better.
But like when everybody was coming in, oh, I need to look at his latch, I need to look at his latch, it stressed me out so much.
So overwhelming.
And then Bubba started to get stressed out. And then from then on, it was pretty much like I had to fight to get him to latch after that.
Because it was just too much.
It was and it was very stressful for both of us. So when we came home, I kept trying to get him to latch. He wasn't eating. He would have such a hard time latching. It would take 45 minutes to an hour for me to get him to latch because he was just screaming so much. So we ended up having to start on formula. I was trying to pump. Pumping is fucking horrible. I hate pumping so much.
It's so draining.
It is so draining, and it's cold, and they're plastic, and it's just like,
and it hurts.
It's not the same as breastfeeding. So I had to start on formula, which just broke my fucking heart. I was trying to pump. Pumping was horrible. Then I went back to work. It was even more stressful. So now I'm trying to relactate, which I didn't really lose my entire supply, but I dropped quite a bit. So I'm trying to get to the point where my supply is built back up. So absolute worst case scenario, Chelsey, honestly, if you're done and you just want to use formula, I don't know if
well, he's 4 months old now, so I would assume this happened right when she got home.
Yeah, so I mean, if you can always go back to breastfeeding if you want to. You can get yourself to relactate. Put him on the boob every now and then. Just like really get him to latch. I mean, he's formula fed, so he's gonna be happy and hungry anyways. But there are ways to trick your body into being like, hey, you know, we need to resupply. So if that's really something you want to go down that road, I mean, that's obviously your choice.
But you could if you wanted to.
You could if you wanted to, but formula feeding is not bad.
No.
I mean, your baby is growing and your baby is fed, and that is what matters.
People that say breast is best are fucking stupid. Fed is best, and that's all I got to say about that.
And you know what? Breast may be best for some people.
Depends
and for some
on
babies.
the person. Yep.
But, like, I know Bubba does a little bit better with breast milk sometimes than he does with specific formulas. So in that sense, yeah, sometimes breast is better. But my kid is happy, and he's eating, and he's fat. Like, you can't tell me that.
Yes.
Hello? Is that my baby? No, that's Kyle.
You want to say hi?
Say hi.
Say hello to the people.
Come on.
Ah, you bitch. All right.
It's okay. We got you on video.
Okay. Love you. Love you. Bye.
But yeah, I mean, so I guess in some ways breast is best for certain babies or whatever if they have like intolerances and whatnot. But my fucking kid is fed.
For mental health, formula is always the best option. Yeah, in my opinion.
Oh yeah. Well, and honestly, if Bubba had like kept breastfeeding the way he was,
God, I cannot get this
I think
sit right again.
And the only reason why formula is so mentally draining is because you put so much pressure on yourself to breastfeed because you hear all of these people saying.
Oh, you said formula. You mean breastfeeding? You said the hardest part about formula. No, I think you mean breastfeeding. Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. No, the hardest part about formula
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, I put this, like, pressure on myself. Yeah. And that's why when we had talked about me I literally, yesterday, I had this conversation with her where I was like, I honestly have considered just letting myself dry up because fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I look at my son and I'm like, fuck, I really do love breastfeeding him. I really do.
Mm.
It's just right now it's more mentally exhausting.
It is.
Because
believe
I'm
me,
trying
I
to,
get
like,
it.
well, yours is mentally exhausting because your kid eats like every hour.
Yeah, every hour.
You literally have a boob out every hour of the day.
Every time I talk to you,
You have a tit
I have
out.
a boob out.
Yes.
Yep.
Correct. So I don't know, but don't put any pressure on yourself. Like, you're a good mom.
Honestly, yeah, Oliver, I breastfed like really breastfed for like maybe 2 weeks, and then after that I started pumping, and then my supply completely dried up after a month, and we switched to formula, and he's fine.
Yeah. Well, and
like,
everybody like blames themselves when their supply drops. Your supply will drop if you get a period. If you start ovulating, certain hormones.
Mine dropped when I started my period.
If you get sick, sometimes if you get mastitis, like your supply is so dependent on everything else that's going on in your body. You can't blame yourself if your supply drops because it fucking happens.
Yeah.
And do not blame yourself. And don't put so much damn pressure on yourself to be an oversupplier either. A lot of people
sucks.
are just enoughers,
Yep.
okay? And that's all you need to be. If you need to supplement with an ounce or two of formula or 3 ounces or 4 ounces of formula per a bottle, that's fine.
Sometimes my kid he'll eat on both sides and then is still hungry, and I'm like, well, I'm empty. So, and then I make a bottle. And that is just, after doing that, because I was pumping to get milk for bottles, like when I wasn't creating enough, but once I switched to formula, it was like so much better, because now I don't pump at all, because pumping sucks. What is it?
Heather sent me this. Okay, so for anybody who doesn't know, my stepmom is a hematologist oncologist. She sent
Which
me
is
this...
so funny because my mom is oncology.
Yeah, it's actually great.
That's she's a doctor though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom's an NP. But it's just funny that they do the same thing.
So she sent me this thing, and it's an eczema cream popularly sold on Facebook is being recalled for containing high levels of lead. She said, and I quote, "Doubt you bought this shit, but figured I'd pass it on."
Well, thank you for telling me, because Oliver has eczema.
Do you have this cream? It's
No, I don't use any creams.
Diep Bao, B-A-O, D-I-E-P, B-A-O cream.
No.
So for any of our listeners, if you
use that for your babies, damn, that sucks.
Yeah, apparently they sold the cream nationwide.
On Facebook?
It contains high levels of lead, yeah. The company's Facebook page and Vietnamese moms Facebook groups sold the cream nationwide, and it contains extremely high levels of lead. So if you bought a new eczema cream and it's spelled D-I-E-P,
look it up.
B-A-O, throw that shit away.
Yeah, definitely look into that.
But yeah, so let's see. Anywho, I got very sidetracked.
That's okay. Okay, so she felt like a failure because of the formula thing, and then she felt like a failure for not being able to hold her child for almost 2.5 days after she was born. Or
that
after he was
again
born.
Is not your fault. It's not your fault.
Nope.
And for any moms going through that, the reason they do that is just it's a health risk, and I know it sucks, and it doesn't make it any better.
No.
And it's still gonna make you feel like shit, but in the back of your mind, just remember, because I know sometimes it helps, like it's just like that moment where you're like, if he's screaming,
if he's
breathing.
Crying, he's breathing.
It's kind of in the back of your head, just remember that, you know, I can't hold him because he's tiny and he could get sick very easily, and NICU babies are so sensitive, and their immune systems are so sensitive. Just in the back of your mind, keep telling yourself, I can't hold him because he could get sick, and that is the last thing you want. And it's not going to make you feel any better. But if there are any moms who relate to reasoning, you know, like to themselves, because sometimes I relate more to reasoning than anything else.
Yeah, for sure.
So sometimes I do have to tell myself those things to make shit make sense.
Like I said, if he's crying, he's breathing. If he's crying, he's breathing.
Yep.
If he's crying, he's breathing.
Yeah.
So, because she couldn't hold her baby for 2.5 days because she was laying there motionless on morphine and fentanyl.
Oh my god.
Ugh.
Fuck.
Yeah. Logan felt so guilty asking to go see John in the NICU when I was on bed rest, but I never held him back. I was purely happy my baby was going to be okay from what I was told, even though the doctors in the NICU said I was really lucky, really fortunate. They saw this situation before and it didn't go well for baby or mama, and it turned out in a completely opposite than
You and your baby are like walking, breathing, living fucking miracles.
Yeah, she said it was the complete opposite of what they anticipated. She says, wow, wouldn't that scare the shit out of you too?
Yeah, literally.
It's like when the anesthesiologist, or I think he was a CRNA, but so the nurse anesthetist was like, you scared me. And I was like, why would you tell me that?
Yeah, I mean, at least he told you after the fact.
He did.
Right?
He did tell me after, yeah.
But still, like, that doesn't make you, you know. But I'm very glad that at least one of you got to go see baby.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it would still make me feel like shit that I couldn't hold my baby. But
it would make me happy that
knowing
the dad could go see him.
Knowing that, you know, my partner and the baby's dad could go see
that would make me feel better.
Yeah. Like, he had someone. Someone was loving.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
And then she says, and my baby is an angel baby. He's absolutely perfect, cries less and fuss less, and this kid has been sleeping all night since month 2.
I fucking love that for you.
For real. That's it.
Oh. I love that he's like literally her little angel baby.
I know.
Like,
it makes me so happy that everything works out for you and that he's a fantastic baby, because I'm sure that like NICU babies are harder to, I don't know what the word I'm looking, pacify, I guess is the best word I'm looking for, like to just be able to calm them down, especially because they go through so much.
Well, NICUs are cold. And,
I know.
I mean, I know they have like
warmers. No, but like it's just,
it's not the same. It's not the same as being home and being loved, you know?
Yeah,
it's
you're
really
like
not.
in a box.
Well, and like I try to remember, like everybody, I'm just going to say this, like these are just our thoughts regarding the situation.
Oh yeah, these are completely opinions.
Yeah, and the thing is, you never know what you would do in that situation or how you would feel in that situation until you're in that situation. So like some people are like very stoic and they don't show any emotion and they're just like, okay, let's you know, just keep my baby alive, you know? But like you really don't ever know. So like this is pretty much just like speculation. So like what I would do in the situation, and I'm not saying that what she did is wrong, but like I'm saying that like the only thing logically my brain can think of is what I'm saying. I guess. Yeah. Does that make sense?
I should also, so this has just been ever since I've said it, now I have to say it. So, or ever since I said it, I thought of something and now I have to say it. So I feel like I've been saying I can't even imagine a lot. Okay. Yeah. I just saw a TikTok and she listened, so I know that you'll know who I know that you'll know who I'm talking about, but I don't know if you want me to say your name, so I won't. But she says that when you say I can't even imagine or I can't imagine, that like the human brain is so complex that you can literally imagine any situation. So she like made this whole video about how like when you say I can't even imagine, it's basically like saying my brain can't, like I don't want to imagine that. I don't want to come up with that scenario. Yeah, and so ever since I've said that, I've been like, damn, you fucked up my brain. Now I can't.
But I mean, that's true though, because like thinking of that situation, like it already makes me want to kind of like tear up a little bit just thinking of her going through it.
Yeah.
But my brain instantly goes to thinking of my child every time, like in every single second of this situation, and imagining what the fuck would I do?
Yeah.
You know, like how would I feel?
That's what I was just saying. Like or that's what I was just thinking. Is
but
like
your brain doesn't want to think of that.
No,
you know, your brain doesn't want to go there.
No.
Because it's absolute worst case scenario. It's just like when you're pregnant and you block out all of this other shit because you're like, I don't want to even remotely think of anything going wrong with my baby or my pregnancy. And that is fucking terrifying. So when people are like, oh, well, that pregnant woman's just being dramatic, fuck you. Because it's so easy to just worry about yourself. You know, it's so easy. It's so easy when you're not pregnant to say, okay, whatever. Like,
when you're pregnant, you're thinking about what you're eating. You're thinking about how much activity you're doing. Everything that you do somehow relates to your baby.
And then you sit there and you're like, is me doing X, Y, Z? So like we went out to Wilmington, to the gardens out there, and we were walking around, and I instantly like got in the car and I was cramping the rest of the night, and I was like, did what I just do hurt my baby?
Yep,
like
mess something
that, and
up.
it's literally something as simple as walking or eating something or drinking something or moving a certain way. Like, your brain is so wired to just worry about the baby. Like, when I was pregnant, I couldn't give two fucks less about myself, but my brain was like, my baby, my baby, my baby. So every single, especially when you're a new mom, every single thing that like changes or is different, you worry about. And people are always like, oh yeah, you're less worried when you're a second time mom. And in my brain, I'm like, I feel like I'm not going to be, because
I was more
every
worried.
pregnancy is so different.
I was more worried the second time because of my miscarriage.
Yeah.
So like, and that doesn't apply to everyone, obviously, but like, even if I hadn't had that miscarriage, I guess I still would have been as nervous, because like, and even with Oliver, because I was first time mom, but like, there are so many possibilities of what could happen, like
my brain
IUGR,
won't shut off.
or like literally never.
No. And it's so hard, because I feel like people are like, oh well, your baby's fine, so you can stop worrying. No, the fuck you can't. You can't stop worrying. No matter how many times I went to the doctor and they told me my baby was fine, I was still scared.
Well, and then like, now that you've heard Chelsea's story, like they were telling her, yeah, everything's fine, and it wasn't. Yeah.
Well, and then in the same token, and I always tell people about this, because I'm always like, you are a mom, whether you have a child at home already or not, you are now a mom. And when I say mother's intuition is fucking lit,
it's real. It's so real.
You know when something is wrong with your baby. Stick to your fucking guns. And make sure, like, even if nothing is wrong, so even if you get 1,000,001 tests and there's absolutely nothing wrong with your baby, okay, but at least you stuck it out and you said, no, I don't feel right, there's something going on.
Yeah.
Because I think in my head, the last thing I wanted was to be relaxed about a situation or relaxed about something that was different, and then something be wrong with him, and me not give a fuck enough to like go get checked or something. So like, I would cramp, or he would stop moving, and I'd be like, I need to sit down, I need to drink water, I need to give myself a couple hours, and then if he's not moving or not doing what I need him to do in the next 2 hours, for those of you who don't know, kick counts are a thing. Make sure you're doing your kick counts. If you are at home and your baby stops moving, do kick counts. If your kick counts are off, go to the fucking hospital. Do not wait.
There's no shame in going.
And I always told myself, I said, I will go to the hospital 10 times a fucking day if I know my baby's all right. What are they going to do? Yell at me?
Exactly.
You can treat me like shit. I was, oh God, which one was it? I think I was like, what? I don't know how far along I was. I might have to ask Adam that question. I can't remember if it was before my 10-week ultrasound or after. I think it was right before. But I was cramping really fucking bad. And
I remember that.
And I called the nurse line, and they were like, okay, if it's not any better, you need to go to the hospital.
Yep.
I was like, okay. So I went to the hospital, and I told them, I was like, hey, I'm this far along. And they were like, all right, so we're going to get you an ultrasound. So Adam was there, and I'm in tears, because I'm like, did I do something wrong? Is something wrong with the baby? Like, what's going on?
Yeah. You always blame it on yourself, even though it's not.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't do anything wrong, you always think, what did I do?
But it's always going to be in the back of your mind.
Oh yeah.
And
that mom guilt happens real soon.
So
just like how you become a mother once you're pregnant, you also have mom guilt.
Oh yeah, 100%. So they took me back for my ultrasound, and the ultrasound tech, I don't know her name, but I'm not going to say which hospital I was at, because they could probably figure out rather quickly. So I went back, and she's doing my ultrasound, and she instantly, mind you, this is an ER, an ultrasound technician, in the fucking ER, at a hospital, talking to a fucking patient, a pregnant patient, mind you. First time mom. I'm a pregnant patient. I'm a very first time mom. And I'm cramping. And I feel like there might be something wrong with my baby. And she starts talking, and she's like, so, like, what are your symptoms? And I told her, and she's like, okay. And she starts talking, and she's basically like, moms come in here all the time for the slightest thing. And she's basically shit talking moms for coming into the ER when they feel like something
She
is
said
wrong.
that to you?
To me, as a first time mom on her bed getting an ultrasound. She's basically shit talking moms for coming into the ER and getting ultrasounds because she was like, everybody just wants, they come in for everything. And then she's like, and some of them just come in because they want to see their baby. And you know what? I wish I really was like secured myself enough at the time, like in my pregnancy, to basically look at her and be like, you need fuck off.
I probably just would have been like,
I was like, what the fuck?
What?
Then she begins to shit talk a nurse that was in the ER because she would come to her when something would be like, she felt like something was wrong. She'd ask her to do an ultrasound.
Yeah.
And she was shit talking her too because she was like, she'll come in whenever she feels like something's wrong with the baby and blah, 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 X, Y, and Z. And I was like,
fuck that bitch.
This fucking bitch. So of course when I go back out, Adam's sitting there. So I go back out and I tell him, and he's like, what the fuck is her problem? And I was like, I don't know, but it sounds like she needs dick because something is fucking wrong with her. She's fucking angry.
Maybe she's gay. Maybe she needs pussy. Who knows?
She needs
Sex.
something. Sexual something or other. Whether it's a fucking shower head or a dildo, I really don't care.
Sexual healing. She needs that shit.
But I was so fucking shocked, dude.
That's ridiculous. I literally don't even, I would have been like,
I was like, are you fucking good? And mind you, so my 10-week ultrasound, I had to go to the diagnostic center because that's where they do the ultrasound, like their first big ultrasound. Yeah. So I went to the diagnostic center.
That's where they do mammograms, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he was like, this dude, bless up. I wish I knew your fucking name because I would say it. Because that ultrasound, he was fucking amazing. Like we would literally, so you're not really supposed to videotape in there. I'm going to out myself, but not like you can do anything about it now. So Adam, like, got like a little clip of the ultrasound because they didn't give you photos. They didn't give us photos.
Oh, that's dumb.
So he got like a little clip of the ultrasound, and Bubba was like literally just bouncing around in there, like the little bean. You know how they just bounce around after 10 weeks? And he was like, I was laughing, so my uterus was like going like this.
It looked like a little peanut.
And he was literally like folding up. So I was like, he looks like a little taco. And the dude was like, he was so fucking sweet. And I always remember that because I'm like, you were literally so nice. And then, of course, the ultrasound techs at work, they're fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And if you guys hear this, or if anybody who I work with hears this, you know who I'm talking about. And they are fucking godsend.
Good for you. We were actually just talking about them before we started recording. I think
they're so fucking sweet. And they are so good at their jobs. And that is like more of what pregnant patients need because
it's already so much anxiety, so much, it's scary, it's all these, it's so overwhelming, and then to have somebody say something like that to you is so fucked up.
But having someone that you can just like bullshit with,
that's so nice,
while you're getting an ultrasound too, is like great. Cause
that there are two ultrasound techs that do like pregnant women at the hospital that I went to, and they're both very nice. One of them is just very quiet and like it keeps to herself and like what, which is fine. Like she's very sweet and whatever. But the other one is like me and very outgoing.
That's how our
and like
ultrasound techs are.
And
so
like
one of them is very like wound up, and she's so funny because she will just bullshit with you the entire time if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But she also feeds a little bit off of your energy. So like if you're quiet, she'll be quiet. She'll try, but like if you're not giving it, then she's just like, okay.
Well, yeah, I feel like.
And then the other one is a little bit quieter, but she's still so sweet. Like
even when we worked on a truck, like you read the situation, like you're like, is this person gonna talk to me or do I just want to like hang back? You know what I mean? Like
do you remember that patient that was like fucking with you that one day, and you were just going back and forth, and you're like, "Oh, now you want to be nice to me."
I have a video. You took a video of me talking to him. Yeah, I do remember that. Oh man,
it's not a HIPAA violation at all.
Well, it was of me. You did it of my face.
Did I?
Yeah, I have it.
I'm pretty sure I deleted it.
I have it. I'll show it to you. You didn't get him in it at all. It's just my face, and I'm pretty sure I said, "Oh, now you want to be nice to me?" I'm pretty sure that's what I said.
I was like,
That
oh,
was,
God.
I thought I was pregnant, I was pregnant
Yeah.
in that video, and then I had my miscarriage. Crazy. We were at wound care.
Mhm.
Oh God, that man. Always talking about damn Bojangles.
Is that who it was?
Or yeah, or a spam sandwich. Yeah, that's who it was.
That's why I was so fucking annoyed.
And Ashley was on the truck with us because we were training her.
Oh, God. Good old Ashley.
I know she doesn't give a fuck if I say her name.
There's so many stories we could tell of that girl.
Oh my God. We should just have her. We should just have her send us a bunch of shit and just have an Ashley episode. Because that shit's funny. Okay.
Oh, God. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that.
I have no idea,
I
but
was going to say something. I'm not really sure now.
Oh, all right. Well, I have nothing else to add. Do you have anything?
I'm thinking. I don't think so.
Okay. Well, we are recording the next episode tonight as well, so we should probably go do that.
But yeah, Chelsey, thank you again for letting us read
Thank
your
you
story.
so much, and you're not a bad mom.
No.
For any of the reasons that you said.
Hell and high water, you are gonna take care of your baby, and that's very, very, very.
I told her. I texted her back after she said that she felt like a bad mom. I said, bad moms don't think that they're bad moms.
No, bad moms think they're really good moms. Good moms think they're bad moms.
Yes, it's very a fucked up world we live in.
Well, sometimes I'm like, I'm a damn good mom. Like when I'm frustrated, I'm like, I'm a damn good fucking mom. Like
you're like screaming at your baby, oh, good mom.
I wish it was at him, but I can't.
I know.
Sometimes I just can't. Like sometimes I'll look at him and be like, well, what the fuck do you want?
I
have definitely looked at him before and been like, I don't know how to fucking help you right now.
I honestly don't. This is wow. I just got really deep in my own brain. Okay, I was just thinking. Sorry to be such a damper on. No.
Digging deep down there.
No, it's
oh God.
it's
oh no.
I just thought like I can't remember the last time that I thought I was a good mom. That's fucked up. Kyle tells me all the time that I'm a good mom and that he's proud of me and whatever, but I don't think I can remember a time that
I think I've said it once that I was a good mom, and that was that hand shaking like I'm a good fucking mom. Don't fucking talk shit. Yeah. That kind of like frustration. But I think it came more when people were like overwhelming me, and I was like, I'm a good fucking mom. I don't need everybody up my ass about things like I can take care of my baby. Like
I don't think I ever.
But lately,
no, you're
lately I'm kind of like someday
you're a good mom. Have you punched him in the face yet when he's screaming?
You're a good fucking mom.
You're a good fucking mom.
You have two of them.
Oh my God.
I only have one.
So that shit's hard. I'm pretty sure I lost. I was just gonna say I'm pretty sure I lost more shit. I lost more shit with Oliver than I am with Theodore, but I think it's because you learn patience.
Like, but also, Theodore is not like a horrible baby.
No, he's a great baby. Oliver was too. He just had his moments. And Bubba
has moments where he's good.
I was just gonna say Bubba has lots of moments. He was so good last night though when we were on the phone.
Bubba was like one big moment.
Bubba is his own entity.
But also sometimes I'm like,
but now you have
my kid.
By the way, we did end up switching swings. I know we've talked about it in one of the previous episodes.
We did.
But
it's working out very well for both of us.
Yeah.
So. Okay, there was a split second where yours wasn't working out well, but that's because something fucking happened.
She figured it out today.
We're good.
But honestly, fine. Theodore likes the bounce rather than the swing now, so it's
Bubba
totally
likes
the. Both of our children like to be aggressively shaken.
Okay, for anybody who is going that path. We don't actually like pick them up and shake them.
No,
we're not shaking baby syndrome.
It's like in the swing, like it needs to be quick, or in the bouncer, they like to be bounced,
and they both have head control
quite hard, yeah.
And they both laugh while they do it. I don't know what's wrong with our kids.
Our kids are weird, and Oliver is just his own. He just runs into walls at this point
and climbs on you.
Oh, I'm a fucking jungle gym, basically. I really
Earlier
am.
you said, if you don't get the fuck off of me right now.
See, this is why it's okay to have those moments.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Sometimes you need to have those moments though. Like,
I lost my shit a couple times
I
today.
mean, you saw me the other day.
all
I
good.
looked at him and I was
Yeah.
like, I don't fucking know how to help you right now. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, and
Yeah.
I really don't mean it to be like nasty.
No, but
like,
sometimes you just have to like and we were just talking about the TikTok that I saw that I don't remember her name, but she was talking about how she was on the porch and her baby was inside and she could see her baby through the window, but she was crying and screaming and she couldn't get her to stop. She couldn't get her to calm down. And she said, I came outside because if I go back in there and I try to keep her calm,
Yeah.
I will shake her.
Yeah.
And like it's okay to feel like that. You just need to be able to recognize when you need a minute.
Recognizing that line in the sand, and I feel like I kind of told myself earlier, because anybody who knows me knows, like, I'm an angry person. If okay, I'm not always, calm, to say the least. Like, my child got his anger from his parents.
Oh, 100%.
And we're really not like that with each other. Like, we've been kind of tested lately.
No, I'm
just
pretty
because
sure
we're
it's
new
genetic.
parents.
I'm pretty sure.
But like, we're really not, like, Adam and I are not like that with each other.
No.
Like, this is wholeheartedly.
I mean, I guess I don't know what happens behind closed doors, but like,
this is wholeheartedly like
what?
the least toxic relationship I've been in.
Honestly,
there's a story
same,
behind that.
but yours are worse than mine. Well, your one is worse than all of mine put together. I've been verbally abused. I have not been physically abused. More to come.
We'll talk about it.
We'll
later.
talk about it in a different one.
But no, so like we actually had that conversation today. But backstory: for the past 2 days, like, Adam and I have literally, like, not been talking to each other on and off, like. And it's nothing that either of us have done wrong.
If you're listening and you don't have kids, or you're listening and you are a single parent and didn't really have the support from somebody else, then this probably sounds terrible. What's like coming out of our mouths?
Ungrateful as fuck.
Right, but when you're in a relationship and you have a baby, it's really hard to keep your physical and like your intimate relationship with each other while you're caring for somebody else.
It's basically like watering flowers.
Yeah.
You can't always water 2 flowers at once, and if you can,
God bless you.
You're majestic. I don't know what the fuck
Can
else
you text me and tell me how you do that? Because
But
I gotta water 3,
it's
and
hard.
I don't know if I can
It is,
do
and
that.
it's hard to water 2 flowers at once.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can put it.
No, it is. Yeah.
So
that's a very
feeding
good
your
way to
baby,
put it.
You're keeping your baby alive. You're taking care of your baby emotionally and physically, and you're doing diapers, and you're doing this and that. And some of us have to work. So some people go to work full time. Like, I was kind of full time, but kind of part time. Now I'm part time. But
yeah,
I was coming home with baby, and you did it with Oliver.
Mm-hmm.
So you're trying to go to work, and you're trying to, keep yourself afloat at work. You're trying to still be that good employee that you were before.
And I was working my ass off.
Yeah.
When I was there.
Yeah, we were working hard.
All of us, every single person that worked there was working their asses off, and
balls
we were getting
to the fucking walls.
We were
getting shit on by people.
Our
it was just
asses were handed to us daily.
Yeah.
And then I would come home and be fucking exhausted, and now I have to care for this baby.
And you have to care for your relationship at the same time.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, dads go through it too.
Mm-hmm.
So dads are also emotional, and they also have these ups and downs, and they need someone to rely on. And I feel like a lot of times they're kind of like off by themselves. And that sounds horrible, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I feel like dads are often overlooked. Because dads can get postpartum depression and anxiety too.
I did. I didn't know that until very recently, but yeah, I did know that.
So like, it's really like,
it's hard. If you want us to talk about relationships after babies, we will, because we've already talked about some things that we want to talk about coming up. So if you have any suggestions, definitely. Everyone that listens probably knows us, so just except the person in Australia, shout out to you again.
I still don't know who the fuck you are.
I have no idea. But if you message the Hold My Pump, Instagram or TikTok or whatever you
Facebook,
come across, or Facebook,
message us on Anchor or whatever.
Message us and tell us what you want to hear, because we're all ears. All ears.
Yeah. But no, it's very hard to water 2 flowers at once. And where was I going with this? Oh, Adam and I have been kind of back and forth for a couple of days, and we actually talked about it this morning.
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I told him, I said, I love you, and I love our relationship, and I love, you know, being parents together, and he's a really good fucking dad.
Mm-hmm.
And he does not think he is. He's an amazing fucking dad.
Kyle doesn't think he is
supports all of us, which Kyle does the same thing.
Mhm.
You know, he supports all three of us. He works his ass off. He just got his medic, so he was in school while I was pregnant. He was finishing with clinicals, finishing school when I had Bubba. So, you know, and I might sound ungrateful, but it's hard to water that flower too, and it's hard to emotionally meet his needs when I can't even meet my own. Let's be honest. Like I have no fucking clue what I want. And
You need to go on medication. That's what you need to do.
yeah. You're fucking right.
I know.
I know. But
this bitch said that you know that paper that you fill out.
I lied on mine.
When they give it to you and they say like, "Are you happy?" or like,
It's like a.
This bitch lied.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I lied on mine.
You should get on medication.
Yeah, if my OB's hearing this, I apologize. I did actually lie to you about a couple things on that. But I also don't think it was as bad when I went in for my postpartum.
No, that's fair, because remember, mine didn't kick in until 4 months postpartum with Oliver.
And in some ways it's better right now, and in other ways it's worse right now. It's very hard.
It's a roller coaster of emotions going through. Just being a parent is so fucking overwhelming that like there's so much.
My hand smells like baby vomit.
Oh, love that. All right, before we get off on too many tangents.
Yeah. So, but no, so it's a mix.
We'll talk about it in like full depth in another episode.
Yeah, so I'm gonna cut off my thought on that. I apologize. But any whore. I love that you said that, because now I'm gonna say that all the time.
What did you say that I was like, that's fucking hilarious? I know this is not what you said, but for some reason, she said it, I'm pretty sure it was an insult, like you were calling somebody or something, and my immediate thought was snot bubble. I don't know why. I don't know. All right. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram. It's Hold My Pump Podcast. Join the Facebook group. Is also Hold My Pump Podcast.
All of the groups, all of the social medias. Just fucking look us up.
Look us up. We're funny.
Yeah. We might not be as active on like social media as we should be, but we're fucking hilarious.
And
we're pretty cool though.
Well,
I like to think we're kind of cool.
I like to think we're cool. All right.
Bye.